What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And wow, we got a lot of breaking news for you guys. I have an interview from Nancy Pelosi to show you what she said just a few hours ago. Then I have some really good news from Nancy Pelosi that I'm going to cover. And I have some mixed signals from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell with some good and some bad news, which is almost like, well, what is he thinking now? Because it's just, is he saying two completely different things? Let's get right into it. Oh, and don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos regarding the second stimulus check and the election coming up. All right, here we go. Nancy Pelosi, just a little bit ago.
Let's do exactly what you said. Let's go forward to Election Day and back time it, as we say in the broadcasting business. What do we have to do between here and there to get there? Assuming that you do have the basic terms you've worked out and you work on, when do you have to have the language of a bill? When do you have to call back your members for a vote? What does the next week or 10 days look like?
Well, of course, the final piece is the president signing the legislation. And for that to happen, it not only has to pass the House, but it has to pass the Senate. And you know, we're getting mixed messages. The Senate's saying one thing, the president says he wants to spend more money than I do. But as I've said before, it's not about the money, it's how the money is spent. You know, we want a child tax credit for the poorest kids in America. They want to retain a tax net operating loss benefit for the wealthiest people in our country. And we're saying, well, you know, how do we reconcile that?
Which was in the CARES Act, right? That was actually in the CARES Act.
The CARES, and we take it out, and they're insisting on keeping it in. So as I say, it's never not always just the price; it's the money and how it is spent. So that's one thing. So anyway, engineering back to have it for election day, I would think we'd have to have this finished by the end of next week. In order for that to do it, we'd have to have our.
So basically, she's saying that this still can happen before the election, and we still have a few more days to basically work out this final wording. I'll get to that here in a second. Let's finish this up real quick.
Legislation all written by the end of this week. Then it's, you know, you have all your procedural 72 hours of review for the world to see, and then it would come to the floor, and then the Senate, you know, has different procedures, so it would have to be. But this is really to have it for election. Now, I'm not, you know, we could still continue the negotiation. It might not be finished by election day.
Right.
It may be finished by election day, but I want it by the next Friday. See, I wanted it at a time where people could pay the rent. November 1st, rent day. Let's see if we can't do that. If that's not possible, it doesn't mean that the virus should not still be crushed, that we shouldn't be putting money in the pockets of the American people, that we shouldn't be honoring our heroes. We still should have a responsibility to continue the negotiations should we just not come to enough of an agreement, a reconciliation of our differences. But we're on a path. And you have to be optimistic. As I say, the secretary and I say to each other, if we didn't believe we could get this done, why would we even be talking to you?
So basically, Nancy Pelosi is saying that they can still get this done, and they're agreeing on certain parts of the wording in the bill. So that interview was just a few hours ago. We have a lot of breaking news just coming in by the minute at this point. Since then, Nancy Pelosi has extended the deadline, which is basically just an imaginary deadline that she made. And she says this because she wants to get this deal done before the election. And the deadline was just to get an agreement on the wording on the virus part of the language in the bill. And even fresher news since then, which is very good news. It's a very good sign of what might be coming here. Let me show you. Nancy Pelosi says that they are now drafting a new agreement stimulus bill, while there are just a few issues that remain. The Trump administration has now agreed to a strategy designed to, say it with me, crush the virus. Crush the virus. So this is a very good sign that they're now drafting an actual stimulus agreement bill from the wording that they've been discussing over the last few days. And the White House has now agreed to the wording on the language of the actual virus part of the bill. So it looks like the Democrats are trying to get a step up, a step ahead of the game here. And they're already starting to draft the bill, which they're calling an agreement bill. They now have an agreement on the wording of the virus, and they're drafting this bill now to try to get it done before the election. Now, remember that the last HEROES Act was an 1,800-page bill, so it likely takes them a little bit of time to draft these bills, although they're probably taking a lot of it that was from the previous HEROES Act and the previous legislation. They're probably now inserting the new language of what they have agreed upon with the White House now. Honestly, this could be the bill that passes because we're starting to basically get agreements from the White House. And President Donald Trump has said several times, once he actually endorses a bill and has a final agreement between the two of them, that he will get the Senate Republicans to agree on the bill and to pass the bill. And it looks like this is the final wording, the final bill, the final legislation that they're drafting right now. Now, this bill will include $1,200 stimulus checks at least, although President Donald Trump said in the last 24 hours that they've raised their offer to 1.9 trillion plus, and that he wants extra money to go to the people in the form of direct stimulus payments. So we're not sure if the $1,200 could go higher. We're not sure if that $500 dependent check could go to $1,000, which is what the White House has also wanted here in the past week. We're not sure if either the $1,200 or the $500 or both is going to go higher. We're not sure if there's going to be the tax credits that the Democrats want. That would be extra money in your pocket. There will be an unemployment extension benefits in this bill, but we don't know the final details on that yet also. Now, that brings us to a small hurdle with Mitch McConnell, aka Mitch better have my money. He's having split personalities at this point. Let me show you. On one end, Mitch McConnell is advising the White House not to strike a pre-election stimulus deal with Nancy Pelosi. As you can see here, Senator Mitch McConnell, Republican of Kentucky and the majority leader, told Republican senators privately on Tuesday that he has advised the White House not to strike a deal with Speaker Nancy Pelosi on a new stimulus bill before Election Day, cautioning against reaching an agreement that most in the party cannot accept. Mitch McConnell's counsel, confirmed by 3 Republicans familiar with his remarks, threw cold water on Trump's increasingly urgent push to enact a fresh round of pandemic aid before he faces voters on November 3rd. It underscores the divisions within the party that have long hampered a compromise. So, on one hand, Mitch McConnell is saying to the White House not to make a deal with Nancy Pelosi. And then on the other hand, he's saying that he would give a Trump-backed stimulus package, one that comes with an agreement with the Democrats. He would vote for it in the Senate. As you can see here, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said on Tuesday that if the White House and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi reach a deal on the stimulus package, he would bring the agreement up for a vote on the Senate floor. He says, quote, "If a presidentially supported bill clears the House at some point, we will bring it to the floor." Now, President Donald Trump has said numerous times, along with his White House aides and White House staff, that the Republicans will ultimately go along with a deal if the president endorses it and they get it to pass the House. They only need 13 votes or 25% of the Republicans to actually go along with it to pass a bill in the Senate along with all the Democrats. And President Donald Trump said within the last 24 hours that if he endorses a deal, that within 2 minutes, he'll make a few phone calls and have the amount of Republicans in the Senate on board that he needs to pass this bill. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys. Jimmy, what do you personally think is going to happen? And I didn't think they were going to make this 48-hour deadline, which they didn't, unless we get some breaking news tonight. Well, maybe I should reverse that. They have agreed now to the virus legislation, and Nancy Pelosi is now drafting this bill. But I think a lot of people thought that this 48-hour deadline was basically to say, yes, we have everything done by this 48 hours. And I pretty much knew that that wasn't going to happen, but we're on the path to this happening. This is really good news because they have an agreement in the violet virus legislation. This is one of the main things that's really holding us up. There's only a few things at this point. And now Nancy Pelosi is drafting what they're calling an agreement bill to basically get this done here within the next, I don't know, few days, have the actual bill drafted and iron out the last final couple little details with the White House and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. And while they're figuring out those last few details, they're basically drafting the bill and putting it on paper so that then they can vote on it. So, I mean, we're on the path to getting this done here within the next few days. It honestly, with 14 days still to go to the election, they have enough time to get this done. I mean, drafting the bill doesn't take that long, depending on how much they're rewording. And the House will vote on it literally in a day. So within 24 hours, the House will vote on it. Then it'll go to the Senate. The Senate can vote on it the very next day, and it'll be on the president's desk within 24 hours. If you remember from past stimulus deals that they've passed four and a half stimulus deals already. Okay, one had checks, one had unemployment. There was another unemployment. There was a PPP bill. There's been all sorts of little different bills here that have passed. They go very fast. Once they actually have an agreement and they actually have it worded, it's like, boom, it's passed in the House, boom, it's passed in the Senate, and then it's on the president's desk the next morning. So there is plenty of time to get that done before the election, which is in the next 14 days. The question is, do they want to get it done right before the election? Nancy Pelosi now thinks that it won't really help President Donald Trump that much before the election because people have their minds made up, and she thinks Joe Biden is in the lead by a long shot, okay? And President Donald Trump does think it will help him out. So, of course, he wants to pass it before the election. And then there's Mitch McConnell who's saying, well, we think we should pass it after the election. But after the election, everything changes. Mitch McConnell might not even be in office. Nancy Pelosi might not even be in office. I mean, they could switch positions. The Democrats could not have control of the House anymore. The Republicans could not have control of the Senate. So getting the deal passed before the election is actually the best case scenario for everybody and, of course, for you because we want to get money in your pockets now. Let's get a check out to you guys now. Let's get an unemployment extension out to you guys now. Let's get mortgage and rental assistance out to you guys now. From this package has all that in there. Let's get that out now. And then as the next 30 or 45 days go by, we can start working on another package to possibly get you guys another check by, say, December or January. And remember, January 20th is when, if Joe Biden wins, he will take office on January 20th. So that if, again, I don't take sides here. I'm not saying he's going to win or if he doesn't win. But if he does win, he takes office January 20th. That would set the stage for the Democrats to pass another stimulus bill at the end of January. But we really want to get this one done now. Let's get this money out. Let's get this money to start flowing. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that they could start getting the direct deposits out within 7 days, and then the stimulus checks in the mail will take a little bit longer, okay? Let's get that done now. Then they can get the mortgage and rental assistance out to you, so that would be additional money there, where we're going to have to find out how that works. Once they pass the bill, I'll be able to get you more details and how you will apply for it, how you'll get the money. All that stuff, I'll be able to bring you all those details once they actually get this bill passed and we actually have the wording. I'll be able to guide you guys on how to get mortgage and rental assistance from this bill, where it'll likely pay your mortgage or rent for several months, basically a whole nother stimulus check or 2 or 3. Okay, let's get this money out now. Then we can work on the details on how to get you more money through these other programs. And then they can work on a third stimulus check in January. Even if President Trump wins, the new Congress will be coming in January 20th because there will be some people that don't get reelected. And on January 20th, they can then vote on a third stimulus check or another stimulus package if we haven't gotten done even more by then. So make sure you guys subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. I will be guiding you guys through this whole entire process of getting the stimulus check and the mortgage rental assistance before or slightly after the election and going forward. And you can click the bell icon down next to the subscribe button if you want to get notifications when we go live. We typically go live at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Thursday night, I will have a debate special with my wife where we will be doing the highlights from the presidential debate with you guys. And you can click on these top videos here to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and we teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.